found a way to smuggle some medication in to the shelter where she was, where I was supervising. And after she, smuggled the medication in, I think she thought I was going to discharge her from the program, which I was, because she had been sharing medication, which was against the rules, with another resident. But what the lady didn't know was I wasn't going to just put her out on the street. I was going to help her find another shelter to go to. She just had to come out of my program because you can't do that. You can't share narcotics and stay here. Like that's not how that works. And so when I left work the day that I confronted my two clients about their behaviors, I came back the next day to talk to both clients. One client was aware that she's going to have to go to another program, another shelter, because that was against the rules. But the one that was giving the medicine away, I wanted to talk with her because I knew she had a very complicated background. A lot of diagnosis going on, physically, mentally, emotionally, health. She had a lot of stuff going on. And so the day that I went to go talk to her, I couldn't get her to come to the door in her room because everybody had like these small little dorm rooms in my program. And I used my master key, I opened the door, found the lady, she was deceased. She had taken an overdose of those pills that she had brought into the shelter that we didn't know about until we found her in her room. We had also found that she had left her laptop open and she had the screen where she was in a chat with some guy from somewhere else, letting him know, like, I'm about to do this. And the guy was like, I think you should. And it was a very, very weird thing to see. Like, why would you encourage that? Very surreal day for me. Um, and so I had to call this person's family, I had to call her sister. And to this day, I remember that lady screaming in my ear, no, 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 when I told her sister had passed away. Well, they sent me home for the rest of the day because I couldn't do no work. I mean, what? They sent me home for the rest of the day. And all I kept thinking was, how did I see this coming? Why didn't I see this coming? How did this happen? So some of my thinking distortions are now they're personalizing some things. Um, but in terms of the implicit bias, how it showed up, when I came back to work, I was almost afraid of my clients because the work that I do, like I love people. Now, I don't like everybody. I think that's okay, but I love people. But when I came back to work, I was standoffish towards my clients, and I remember thinking, I don't know what y'all can do. Y'all can do anything, and so much of me is poured into the work that I do. I don't know if I should even trust this face. Should I still work here? Should I still work with y'all? How can y'all be in my face smiling and laughing and calling me Miss Jennifer and want to sit in my office and all these things? And I can't trust you. Like
Mm.
it was a very weird space to be in. Now, the bias that I had was don't get close to these people. Keep it real black and white. The problem for me though is that's not authentic to who I am. No, I don't believe in like blurring boundaries. No, no, no. However, I do believe as somebody who has grown up in a dynamic where my mama was a social worker. She's retired now, but because of our income constraints and she being a single parent, we had to go to social service places to get food boxes and utility assistance. Like I remember that, that feeling of like having to have a need and go and get some help from somebody. And if those people weren't nice, that would have stuck with me. So there is a part of us in our profession that is necessary that we yield to the people that we're working with. But when those people do certain things that really kind of hit you in your feels, or they kind of make you recoil or kind of pull back, it can absolutely influence some implicit bias of don't trust these people. Do everything black and white. Ain't no favors, ain't no niceness. Is good morning. What do you need? How can I help you? It's no more that casual conversation, that casual banter. Like for a period of time, I literally was like in a protective mode of my own self. I just couldn't figure out how to navigate that. Now it took me some time and some revelation and some acceptance about that person's actions. Like that was her exercising her autonomy, and that's what she felt like she needed to do with the information that she had processed. And so I had to make a conscious decision to release that so that I would not continue to be so standoffish and emotionally evasive with my clients. But again, implicit bias is not necessarily the villain here. It's typically again how we display it and how it shows up in our practice. Okay. And so I would posit that most of us have had some type of experience or experiences with clients in organizations where we have not had the best outcomes, the best interactions, the best feedback. I'm sure there have been times we have, had lies told on us and things of that nature. Like a lot of things can happen to us that I feel like are occupational hazards, and they don't teach us about it in school. You have to just kind of learn as you go. But again, a lot of the things that we experience can tend to influence the presence of implicit bias. Okay. And so with that, I just again want to encourage, like, reflect, self-care, mindfulness, seek feedback, engage in your self-care, go to therapy, continue to learn about ways that you can improve your own emotional and mental well-being, and also just to be more conscious of like how it is to possibly experience you as a helper, as a service provider. And if you find that you recognize you have built up or you have a series of biases that are hard to navigate, yes, some other measures like some of the things listed on the screen may be helpful, but sometimes we need to step away. Sometimes we need to kind of figure out if we need to regroup and reroute our journey in the work that we're doing. Because again, we don't want to harm people just because of the experiences that we have gone through. So, that's my little bit of a sermonette. These are some provider resources for those of you that may be interested in maybe joining some of these organizations for social workers. Some of them, of course, are national. Some are identified like on social media pages like Facebook, Instagram, TikToks. But there's several of them that I came across. So that list is here. And then that next screen is very, very probably gonna be a little bit difficult to. Oh, it's not that hard to get your eyes on, but this is some resource. These are some resources to kind of help you engage in self-awareness and self-reflection. Excuse me. And so, I mean, I encourage you all, if your time permits, if you're interested, browse, copy and paste, and peruse through them and see if there's anything that you would like to utilize for your own practice, for your supervising of supervisees, anything of that nature. So, I know we have a couple minutes left in our I call it a session of sorts. Are there any questions, concerns, anything you might want to add? Let me see. I see some things in the chat. Let me see.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank y'all. Y'all so nice. Let me see. I always like
I have
looking
a
at.
question.
Yes.
Um,
Go ahead.
what do you think are maybe some uh what do you think that are maybe some of the most common blind spots that people have concerning their own biases that we sometimes, kind of overlook or don't realize until somebody points it out. You might not think that you might have this type of bias, but maybe with something, maybe a common bias that we might overlook, if any.
I, I would use I would use a bias that I think many people, especially adults, have. Since I work with teenagers, I feel like there's quite a bit of bias towards them. Bless their hearts. They're such complicated and complex beings, and they have taught me a lot. But I will be honest with you. I think sometimes there can be biases when we think about people who are older than us or much younger than us. And this is why I also think that sometimes we can minimize the experiences of other people or be dismissive. I remember when I was little, I would be in the car with my mom and I said, Mom, I'm tired or I'm stressed out. And I remember my mom and sometimes the older people saying, You ain't got to be worried about, stressed about. But in my own little world, I was stressed out. I was tired. If you think you're tired, wait till you get older. Well, okay, I'm older and I'm still tired. But that's not the point. The point is that oftentimes our implicit bias shows in just those casual exchanges of like minimizing somebody else's stuff. Oh, you worked up over that? You mad about that? Girl, you should just let that go. Well,
Mm,
again, those are biases based on your own experiences. Like you may be able and or more likely to let something go and dismiss it, but everybody's not like us, and that's part of the implicit bias that sometimes we don't recognize. Like people move differently because they are different than we are. But again, that can be something that sometimes people don't understand and people don't recognize. I would say that that would be a blind spot. Is just sometimes lacking the empathy or just being like, you know what, maybe I'm not looking at this the right way. So I don't, did that answer your question?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a great answer. Because it's a thing, you know, when you're having to judge bias, like and thinking about ways to unbiasedly judge bias. You know, how do we do that? Because
Mhm.
sometimes things are so skewed, and I think that's why it's really important for us to be in great environments where we can be educated like this, um, and just again be aware of our own experiences and understanding that things do happen quite differently from what we have all been exposed to. But
Mhm.
great answer. Um, we are about at time. I don't think there's any more questions. Uh, Stephanie said you have to be intentional in finding and challenging your
Mhm.
biases. It's not just going to happen for you. Just my opinion. Absolutely. You have to be open to it, right? You have
Oh
to.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And then I saw a comment in the chat that said it's important to notice repeated messages received from different sources. So if someone is again experiencing us and they're saying,
uh,
Jen, you seem really nice, but I gotta tell you, like I've noticed you can be a bit sarcastic when
mm,
talking about certain things. And so or dismissive. And I've been told it a few times by a few different people. And so again, as a person in therapy, I'm still trying to go from one extreme to the other. So I'm kind of having to walk myself back in
mm,
terms of being in a more balanced space with like how I respond to certain things. Because I'm coming from a space of being really, really protective of myself and cocooning. As I've set boundaries and things of that nature. So sometimes I'm just like, oh, okay, bet that's what you want. Okay, cool, no problem. Say less. As opposed to like, hey, no, I'm actually trying to connect with you right now to have a conversation. Could you not do that? And I'm quick to sometimes throw a wall up. And I recognize that too. But again, I do think, like Linda said, that it is important to notice repeated messages. Because again, as it's been said, everybody ain't lying on you. I can't believe that. Everybody's not
right.
lying on you. So it may be something too, what's being said or what's being given to you. But again, it's about how receptive we are to that feedback. If we're willing to even put it out there to get it, because sometimes we don't want to hear nothing. Which I can get that too, but that can be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, thanks again. Want to give you another virtual round of applause, Jennifer, for an awesome presentation. We thank you, man. We had a large group. It's about 85, including us, speakers and things. So you all really represented. This is an ethics CEU, so count it for that. We will be getting this information, getting your continuing education units out shortly. Certainly, if you haven't heard from us again by Friday, check first your spam and make sure it's not in spam. But otherwise, oh, thank you, Amy. Yes, or otherwise you should be receiving that. Um, it seems like it was something else that I wanted to mention. Oh, yes. Yes, I hate to do this but for the sake of accountability, there were some questions about sorry, y'all. I knew this would happen sooner or later because I just need to get tested. I'm sorry, ADHD. But the recording, we just have a part of it. So, still join. Join our YouTube channel for the other recordings, but we'll just have a portion of this presentation because your boy forgot to resume. Even with all the reminders, they just don't matter. But we're gonna let you all go. You all have an awesome rest of the week, and hopefully, again, we will be off for December. We should be back, I believe, January. So you all take care, and we'll see y'all on the other side. Y'all take care. Bye bye.
Mm-hmm.